I began an online relationship with my director, but a real-life meeting? That was completely off the table. She had no clue the man she was messaging online was one of her own team members. Recently, my director Celine has been in a foul mood. The change is obvious to everyone at Innovate Solutions, and the office atmosphere is thick with tension. Even the most relaxed employees are on their best behavior, afraid to even look at their phones. She's been working relentlessly, staying late every night, and naturally, no one feels they can leave before she does. Consequently, we've all been stuck at our desks until 10 or 11 p.m. I'm exhausted, with dark circles under my eyes and stressed out skin. But I'm likely the only person here who understands why she's so upset. My director just had her heart broken. And I'm the one who broke it. She just doesn't know that part yet. It all started with our 18-month online relationship. We connected on a professional networking site, Tech Connect Forum, where she posted a thread titled, "Struggling to Connect. Any advice?" Intrigued, I read her post. Female, 5 feet 10 inches, 110 pounds, 26 years old. Degree in Computer Science and Business Administration from a top-tier university. Currently, a director of product development at a leading tech firm in Seattle with a high six-figure salary. I own my condo, drive a nice car, and consider myself attractive. Still single, what am I missing? The replies were brutal. This has to be a troll post. Next, a 26-year-old director? Must be a family connection. Seriously, try making your story a little more believable. Amused, I added my own comment. It could be how you present yourself. Have you thought about posting a picture? I didn't think any more about it and logged off. A few hours later, a private message from her arrived. "Hi, would it be okay to send you a photo privately?" I was surprised but curious. "Sure." I typed back, figuring it might be interesting. A moment later, an image appeared. I almost choked on my water. 5 feet 10? Not a chance. She looked to be 5 feet 5 inches at most. The photo was a badly lit mirror selfie, with her face half hidden. She wore heavy, horn-rimmed glasses, and was dressed in clothes that looked a decade out of style. Yet, her underlying features were striking: her lips, her nose, her eyes. She was a hidden gem who simply had no idea how to shine. And for some reason, she looked vaguely familiar. Considering how many beautiful women are unaware of their own potential, I decided to offer some help, purely out of goodwill, of course. I studied the photo for a minute before composing a thorough response. "You should update your style. Trade the glasses for a more modern frame, or maybe try contact lenses. That camera angle isn't doing you any favors. Tilt your phone down slightly. Swap that long skirt for something shorter, perhaps in black. And please, find better lighting." She replied with a simple, "Thank you, that's very helpful." I moved on with my day. The next afternoon, she sent me a new photo, having implemented all my suggestions. Then she did it again the next day, and the day after that. By the fourth day, I was starting to get tired of it. That's when she offered to pay me for my style consulting and asked for my personal contact info. I figured, why not? A little extra cash can't hurt, and sent her the details for my personal messaging account. Seconds later, a friend request popped up with a profile picture I recognized instantly. It was my director, Celine. I froze. In my shock, my thumb slipped, and I accepted the request before I could think. A wave of panic washed over me. I quickly changed my privacy settings to chat only, hoping she wouldn't realize who I was. A new message popped up. "Thank you again for all your help. Here's a little something to show my appreciation." She then sent me $3,000 with a note that read, "A gift, no obligations." I stared at the notification, stunned. I compared her profile picture to the photos she had sent. It was her, no question. My captivating online mystery woman was my boss. This is bad, I thought, as I accepted the money. But at least she doesn't know it's me. I kept giving her style advice. She was a fast learner, and her confidence grew visibly. Just as I was planning to phase myself out of her life, she threw me a curveball. She confessed that she had feelings for me. It began with a long, heartfelt message, a modern-day love letter. I scanned past the flowery language to the final sentence. I've been wanting to say this for a while. I really like you. I was stunned. Thanks. I finally managed to type back. What? She responded. I appreciate the sentiment. I wrote. No, I'm being serious. I like you a lot, and I'm so grateful for your guidance. She paused for a moment before sending another message. Could you at least give me a chance to win you over? I didn't answer. I couldn't sleep at all that night. The following morning, she began a new routine. Good morning, have a great afternoon, and good night texts. She shared details of her day as if we were already a couple. On my way to the office. Just got here. Heading into a big meeting. Her persistence was something else. I gave short, non-committal replies, but that only seemed to spur her on. About a month later, things took a strange turn. I was browsing a social media app, looking at photos of fitness models, and accidentally sent one to Celine instead of to my friend. Wow, she's incredible. I could stare at this all day. I wrote alongside the picture. She replied almost immediately with a single question mark. By the time I noticed my mistake, it was too late to unsend it. Appreciating beauty is one thing, but for some reason I felt a sharp pang of guilt. Then a new message from her appeared. Is this the type you like? It was a video, clearly just filmed at a gym. The person in it didn't have a bodybuilder's physique, but rather pale, smooth skin and a defined abdominal V-line that disappeared into her workout shorts. Her top was pink. She seemed shy, and by the end of the short clip, her face was bright red with embarrassment. I was captivated. Do you have more? Send another. I replied instantly. After a moment's hesitation, she sent a few more videos, each one more alluring than the last. I have to admit, I was completely mesmerized. Who would have guessed that my director, who was always so composed and professional, had this side to her? It was surprisingly thrilling. As I was taking it all in, another message appeared. If you agree to be my boyfriend, I can send you videos like this whenever you want. People chase money, power, and fame their whole lives. Those first two don't do much for me, but beauty? That's my ultimate weakness. All right, I suppose I could consider it. I typed back. It was just an online thing after all. I was firm about my conditions. No telling anyone, no changing our profile pictures to couple shots, no video calls, and absolutely no meeting in person. She wasn't happy about the rules, but she agreed. And so it began. We had an online relationship for 18 months. As she refined her style and grew more comfortable showcasing her looks, I enjoyed the benefits. Her photos and videos were stunning, and she executed every one of my suggestions perfectly. I thought we could keep this up indefinitely, until she asked to meet. We agreed at the beginning. No meeting in person. This is an online-only arrangement, I reminded her. She sounded hurt. I know, I'm sorry, but I really want to see you. I knew why she was suddenly so insistent. A few days prior, I had gone to a college get-together. Afterward, an old acquaintance from my class confessed that she had a crush on me. I turned her down politely, but she didn't handle the rejection well and began spamming me with cringy messages. Annoyed, I screenshotted the entire conversation, posted it on my social feed to expose her, and then blocked her. Since I was technically in a relationship, Celine must have seen the post. I assumed she wanted to meet to make our relationship official and public. But I had my reasons for keeping things separate, so I couldn't agree. After a week of dodging her requests, I grew frustrated and broke things off. She was completely crushed. My phone immediately started blowing up with her calls. I sighed, turned my phone over, and did my best to ignore it. That's when Marcus, my team lead, came over to my desk. Leo, can you take this project blueprint to Celine? Marcus's crush on Celine was the worst-kept secret at the company. He usually jumped at any chance to talk to her, but she had been so difficult lately. The last time he tried to offer his sympathy, she was so dismissive that he almost sprinted out of her office. I sighed. Marcus, isn't that your job? This feels a bit above my pay grade. Just do it, Leo. Fine. Even though I had seen almost every side of Celine online, facing her in person still made me anxious, especially in a professional setting where she was known for being demanding, direct, and, frankly, a bit intimidating. I hesitated, then picked up my phone. Since the breakup, Celine had been flooding my inbox with apologies. I hadn't replied, not because I was mad, but because the situation needed to cool down. I typed out a quick message. We don't have to break up, but you need to respect my boundaries. I don't appreciate it when people break their promises. Her reply was instantaneous. Oh baby, you're finally talking to me. I'll never do it again, I swear. She added a pleading face emoji. I took a deep breath to steady my nerves and knocked on her office door. After a short pause, I heard her voice, slightly strained, say, "Come in." The first thing I noticed when I entered was her red nose. Had she been crying? Celine saw me looking and, looking flustered, tapped her desk. "Just leave the blueprint there, and you can go." Her voice was much softer than usual. Normally, she would have chewed me out for bypassing my team lead. However, the blueprint didn't meet her expectations and was sent back for revisions. Unsurprisingly, Marcus dumped the extra work right back on my plate. That Friday, most people left the office early for the weekend. Celine, for once, left at a reasonable hour, and the floor emptied out quickly, leaving only me and the office administrator. I stayed late to finish the revisions, telling the administrator I would lock up on my way out. It was past 9 p.m. when I heard the keycard reader beep at the main door. My heart jumped. Who would be coming in this late? My mind flashed with scenes from horror movies. I held my breath, telling myself to be rational. Then, a familiar silhouette appeared in the doorway. It was Celine. "Why are you still here? Don't you have a place to be?" she asked, looking genuinely surprised. I bit back the sarcastic reply. I wonder whose fault that is. Instead, I said, "This blueprint is due tomorrow morning, and I didn't want to leave anything to chance. I figured it was better to finish it tonight." Her expression softened. "Oh, that document? Let me help you. It will be much faster if I just show you what I'm looking for." My blood ran cold. My computer was logged into my personal account, the one I used to message her. She walked toward my desk. "Pull it up for me. Let me see it." Panic flared. My mind raced as I tried to stall. "Hold on a second," I blurted out. As Celine got closer, I could feel my heart hammering against my ribs. My computer sat there, a ticking time bomb, with my secret identity one click away. Each step she took seemed to echo through the quiet office. I had to think of something, fast. "Wait, just a moment," I said, covering the keyboard with my hand as if I were working on something top secret. Celine paused and crossed her arms, an amused eyebrow raised. "What's the holdup, Leo? What are you trying to hide?" Her tone was light-hearted, but it only amplified my anxiety. "It's nothing. It's just, the document isn't formatted yet. I was just making some final tweaks. I didn't want you to see an unfinished version." It was a flimsy excuse, and I knew it. Celine's eyes narrowed with suspicion, but she took a step back. "Fine, I'll wait, but hurry up. I don't have all night." She sat down at the adjacent desk, crossing her legs. Her presence was intense, and every second felt like an hour. I typed frantically, but my thoughts were spinning. How could I get out of this? I needed a distraction. "Celine, are you sure you want to do this now? You look exhausted. Perhaps we could look at it in the morning with fresh eyes?" It was a long shot, but to my relief, she sighed and uncrossed her arms. "You're right, I am tired. But I hate leaving things incomplete. You know how I am." Our eyes met, and for a second I felt there was a deeper meaning in her words. I realized her stress wasn't just about work, it was personal. It was about our breakup, about the pressure she constantly put on herself. That gave me an idea. "Okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll email you a preliminary draft that you can review whenever you want." I quickly opened a new document and threw together a fake draft with some generic points. It wasn't my best work, but it would buy me some time. She nodded, but her expression remained unsettled, like there was more she wanted to say. Leo, can I ask you a personal question? Her voice was quiet and hesitant, which was completely out of character for her. Of course. I expected a question about work, but what she said next stunned me into silence. Why did you end things with me? Was it something I did wrong? Was it my fault? Her gaze was fixed on mine, showing a vulnerability I had never seen before. In that moment, she wasn't my formidable director. She was Celine, the open and hurt woman I knew online. A lump formed in my throat. I could have lied, made up an excuse, but her earnest expression made it impossible. Celine, it wasn't you. I felt things were escalating too quickly, like we were crossing lines that we shouldn't have. She looked down at her hands, biting her lip. I see. But you didn't even give me a chance to talk about it. You just disappeared. Do you have any idea how much that hurt? I didn't know what to say. No apology could fix what I had done. Before I could find the words, she stood up. It doesn't matter anymore. It's over. Let's just focus on the work. She straightened her posture, slipping back into her role as the composed director. But the way she avoided my eyes told me the issue was far from resolved for her. I sent her the makeshift draft, and she read it in silence. With every line she scanned, I prepared for criticism. Finally, she looked up. It's a decent start. It will work with some modifications. I'll forward it to Marcus as is. Good night, Leo. She walked out without a second glance, leaving me in the heavy silence of the empty office. I sank into my chair, drained. My secret was safe, for now, but I had a feeling it wouldn't be for long. Celine was too smart to let this go. She wanted answers, and I knew she would eventually uncover the truth. When that happened, I had no idea how she would react. For now, all I wanted was to go home and forget everything. As I was packing my bag, my phone buzzed with a notification. It was a message from Celine. I still feel like you're hiding something from me, but whatever it is, I will figure it out. I swallowed hard. This wasn't just a casual suspicion. She was on a mission, and I was about to face the consequences of my actions. The next morning, Celine was different. She didn't look my way or make any of her usual sharp comments. Instead, she was withdrawn, almost analytical. That in itself was a huge red flag. I spent the day with a pit in my stomach, certain something was about to break. I just couldn't have imagined how right I was. That evening, as I was clearing my desk, I got a text from her. I need to speak with you. Conference room. Now. The cold, impersonal tone was a stark contrast to our recent emotional exchange. I took a deep breath and prepared for the worst. When I walked into the conference room, Celine was sitting at the head of the table with her laptop open. She continued typing for a few moments before she finally looked up at me. Her expression was a mixture of confusion and distrust. She snapped the laptop shut and crossed her arms. So Leo, she said, her voice like ice, would you care to explain this? I froze. Explain what? She took her phone, pulled up a file, and slid it across the table. It was a complete archive of our 18-month online relationship. My advice, my replies, her photos. It was all there. But the most shocking part was that she had screenshots of my private profile, things I had never sent her. How did you find this? I asked, my voice trembling. Celine tilted her head, her eyes boring into mine. I'm a director at a major tech company, Leo. Did you honestly think I couldn't put the pieces together? You were careless. A small detail here, another one there, and it all clicked. She made a small gesture with her hands, as if completing a puzzle. Listen, Celine, I can explain. I started, but she cut me off. Explain, please do, because from my perspective, this is twisted. She stood and began to pace. You knew who I was the entire time. Instead of coming clean, you stayed hidden, pulling my strings, manipulating me, observing me from up close while you pretended to be a stranger. That's not right, Leo. That's obsessive. It wasn't like that, I insisted. I never intended to manipulate you. I got caught up in it and it spun out of control. None of this was planned. Wasn't it? She let out a humorless laugh. Then why did you keep it going? Why did you take the money? Why did you let me open up to you, knowing I trusted you completely? I opened my mouth to answer, but no words came out. Any explanation would sound like a weak excuse. Celine was more than my boss. She was a sharp, intelligent woman who now saw all my actions in the worst possible light. You know what this tells me? She leaned forward, her hands flat on the table. It tells me you have a serious problem. You pursued this relationship with me knowing full well who I was, without a single thought for how it would affect me when I found out the truth. Celine, I care about you, I said, my voice thick with emotion. I know I messed up, but I never wanted it to end this way. I just wanted to feel close to you. Feel close to me? She scoffed. You were close to me every single day, Leo, in the office, in meetings. But you chose to invent a fake persona to deceive me. That's not caring. That's control. I never wanted to control you, I said, trying to defend myself. I fell for you online before I had any idea who you were in real life. When I found out, I panicked. I was afraid of losing you. Afraid the truth would ruin everything. And it did, Leo. She sat back down, her arms crossed. I trusted you. I truly did. But now when I look at you, all I see is someone who violated every boundary. Someone who turned something that could have been real into a sick game. I felt a knot tighten in my throat. She was right to be furious. My fear and indecisiveness had led me to make terrible choices. So this is it? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. It's over? Celine looked at me for a long time, her eyes studying my face. I don't know, Leo, she finally said, her voice softening slightly, but still firm. What I do know is that I need space. I need time to figure out if I can ever trust you again, or if you'll only ever be a reminder of how I was deceived. She stood, picked up her laptop, and walked to the door. Before she left, she paused and looked back at me. One more thing, Leo. I sincerely hope you understand the consequences of your actions. Because right now, I have no idea who you really are. When the door clicked shut, the silence in the room was deafening. I sat there alone, replaying everything in my mind. There was no going back, no undoing the damage. But maybe there was a lesson to be learned. Celine was right. My choices had brought us here. If I ever wanted a chance to earn back her trust, it wouldn't be with words, but with actions. Or maybe, I just had to accept that this was the end of the line.